Good morning from Hong Kong International Airport. Today I'll be flying Cathay Pacific's business class aboard an A330 on over to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. So let's see how long it takes to get through security, and then if there's time, there's actually two nice One World lounges here. There's a bunch of Cathay Pacific ones, but there's also a Qantas lounge. And gosh, this is a very shiny airport. And this lounge is a little bit hidden. It's actually next to another security area and like in this little very side area. So let's see how to actually access it. I think it's just down here. Good morning. And we're in the lounge. Please sanitize hands here. One hand, two hands, two hands. Hello, hello. I hate when hand sanitizers will only let you do one hand because they have this timer sensor thing on them. Oh, it's not gonna work for me. My hand's gonna stay dirty. And full disclosure, I'm a huge fan of Qantas lounges, at least the two that I've been to, one in Melbourne and one in Singapore. Never been to this one though. Nice bar here. Good morning.
Morning.
And it's got a very, very spacious feel. This is much bigger than the other Qantas lounges that I've been to. Huh. Some Hong Kong theme. Very cool. And lots of views of different aircraft and the airport activity, which for me I really value in a lounge. I don't know if you watched my review of the 4 lounges over at Bangkok Airport. If not, you should. But none of those lounges had great views of the airport, or I should say of the aircraft of the airport. And that's a really nice thing to have in a lounge. But they did, however, feature a lot of other cool stuff, so you should definitely watch it. But anyway, let's get back to this Qantas lounge here because they've got a lot of food selection. I just want to take a look myself, having never been here. Is that a soup or a broth? Oh, it looks like some kind of Australian slash British slash, sausages and all that. Oh, some fried udon noodles, Japanese pickle, natto. Do you know natto? I don't like natto. And they've got a juice machine over here, which is awesome because I love fresh juice. And there's a lot of seating in this lounge. It's very spacious, which is interesting because Qantas doesn't have like all that many flights. They could definitely fit more than 1 or 2 Qantas flights in this lounge. It's very nice in terms of space. And then, wow, it just keeps going on actually. So it looks like that was the dining options back there, but I just want to see what's in this lounge. Let's keep going. Coffee machine. But in Qantas lounges, you want to get that coffee from the bar because it's really good. It's like Australian style coffee, and not everything in Australia is great or anything, but their coffee is really awesome. Okay, it's just the kid space. So I wish I were the kid that got to hang out in this lounge and watch the Japan Airlines plane board or Cathay Pacific pushback. And there's one other really nice feature in this lounge. There's a printer. Not every lounge has a printer, and that's something that's really, really helpful for like any kind of passenger. Like I always need to print visas or things like that. But for business passengers, maybe you need to print business documents. So, went in the Qantas lounge, drink juice. Cucumber, pear. Let's start with that. Green button. Juice. I'd like to put some carrots in my juice, but I don't see any. Guess it's gonna be, don't grab with the fingers, a cucumber. Maybe another cucumber. And, I don't know, a red apple. Just toss it right in there, apparently. Ooh. That's juice. Look at that. And usually if I have access to the Qantas lounge plus another One World lounge, especially the Cathay Pacific lounge, probably do most of my dining in a different lounge. But they have awesome coffee here too, so I'm gonna see if I can get some. Hi. Could I please have a flat white? And there's a whole bar menu that you can always just order from. Very nice in terms of drinks over at the Qantas lounge. Cheers, thanks. And I'm gonna take it a little bit slow with the food, but I got this little chocolate croissant and a flat white to match. Good coffee in the Qantas lounge. It's like a guarantee if you come here, you're gonna have some good coffee. And juice. It's good. It's a little bit sweet though. Use some carrots. Plus they have showers in this lounge, so I'm gonna see if they'll let me show you all what the showers look like. Sorry, is the shower that way? This way. Okay, thank you. And if you wanted a shower, I don't need one, I just took one at my hotel. Then they got everything you need to take a shower here. And the bathrooms here are very immaculate. So you can either combine a bathroom trip with the shower or just come over to the bathrooms knowing that they'll actually be clean. But nature calls, so I'll see you all later. So basically, whenever I have the chance and the time, I will stop by a Qantas lounge. It's an enjoyable experience. But let's go see what one of the Cathay Pacific business class lounges are like over here at Hong Kong Airport. And there seem to be various opinions on which Cathay lounge is the best here over at Hong Kong Airport. A lot of people do seem to think it's the pier, but the thing is the pier is like 30 minutes on the other side of the airport walking. So I'm not gonna go all the way over there. There are 2 Cathay lounges over here, and since I'm at gate 1 and there happens to be a lounge over at gate 2, I'm gonna go to the one over at gate 2. Even if it's not quite the best, well, I'm not gonna go to the pier, so I won't know what the best is like, so we'll just see this one. This is a very interesting airport to walk around in. It must be my lucky day or something having gate number 1. So I'm going to be trying out the wing, just because that's the one by the gate that my aircraft will be taking me over to Kuala Lumpur from. Hi.
Okay, thank you. May not upstairs. And this lounge, no shower.
No shower. The other 2 Cathay lounges also they do have showers.
The other have the shower.
Both others. And this Cathay lounge does not have any showers. The other 2 do. So if you're looking for a shower, this is not the place to come. But let's see what else they've got here. But like the other Cathay lounge that I visited in Taipei, and I guess every Cathay lounge, there's the noodle bar here. And I've got to say, when I first walked up the stairs into this lounge, it looked like it wasn't going to be that impressive, but then I came to the other end, and there are amazing views over here. And you've got the choice of the noodle bar for eating, or you can go over to a cafe area that also has some food and coffee as well. So dining just seems to be what these Cathay lounges really excel at. And that's good, because I had some nice coffee and a little bit of a snack over at the Qantas lounge, but now I'm actually hungry.
Do you want sugar?
No, thank you. But they have beautiful flat whites over here too. So let's compare to the Qantas lounge. Smells good. Qantas lounge is better. The espresso machine's not quite dialed in. It's still pretty good. It's better than you get at most shops in an airport for sure. And if you're wondering why I'm randomly talking about dialing in espresso machines and all that, microfoam and stuff like that, it's because I used to actually be a barista. I've had quite a few different jobs. Of course, now I'm not doing any of those jobs, but you know, everything from McDonald's to Subway to working at some kind of hipster coffee shops in New York City. But other than nice dining options and stuff over at the end of this lounge here, the location is really why I chose it, of course. And I think that's my A330 sitting over there. Though it can be a little bit hard to tell which aircraft you're actually going to get with Cathay Pacific.
Hi.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. So I would like the flat noodles with chuhao beef brisket, please.
Yes.
And is any of this stuff what you would consider like kind of Hong Kong food to try? Food? I mean,
the wonton. It's a
wonton noodles.
Food. Yes, it's like the dumpling with
okay. I ate some of this yesterday, but in Taipei.
Oh, it's different style.
Different style. Okay, so wonton noodles as well.
This is good too.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. One question. What is a Malay brown sugar sponge? That's like a dessert, or?
Actually, it's sweet. It's like the cake, but it's make it with brown sugar.
With brown sugar. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we order one of those as well?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So,
1, 2, 3.
one is wonton noodles,
Yeah.
fried noodles, and brown sugar
Awesome.
sponge.
Okay. Thanks.
When that is flashing, please come back and pick up.
All right. And I've got some food that I ordered, but it'll take a few minutes. But you can eat it anywhere in the lounge, so that's really nice to know. You don't have to only eat in the little cafeteria-style noodle bar area. And everyone has their different idea of what a lounge should be. But for me, one of the features of a lounge is that it's a restaurant. I can get food there, I don't have to pay for it, and it's good. And this place definitely fills that bill. So I got some beef brisket with rice noodles. It's like a soup. And I also got some, what is this? It's a wonton soup. Actually, she told me this is what people eat a lot in Hong Kong for breakfast. So I don't even know where to start. Let's start with some beef brisket. See if it compares to Katz's pastrami. But this tendon stuff, I'm sorry, I know a lot of people really love tendon. I don't. It's just like gooey. That's tasty soup though. And let's go with the wonton soup, just to compare. And these soups are like there is soup, there is broth, but they're not very liquidy at all. And I've prepared it with hot sauce and some other toppings. Asia has good food. The noodles are like al dente. I definitely recommend trying this soup. Actually, both of them. I mean, lounges with this kind of dining are definitely in the minority in the world. Like, this is pretty good for a lounge. The other thing I got here is some kind of Malay brown sugar bun, I believe it is. Oh, it has that kind of brown sugar smell. Let's see. Whoa. It's bouncy. That's seriously good. I thought it was just like a piece of bread. I was wrong. But just one other observation while I spend a few more minutes in this lounge. It is really, really hot here. Over in the Qantas lounge, there was like air conditioning and it was a comfortable, I don't know, maybe 22 degrees Celsius, maybe 23, 24. Outside, it's like super humid and I don't know, 33 or something. But I don't know if the AC broke over in this wing of the airport or what, but it's just like too hot. So unfortunately, I don't have time to test out all 3 Cathay lounges today. But when deciding which Cathay lounge to visit here at this airport, maybe just ask the person working at the lounge if the AC is in fact working or not. And one other thing that is a bit of a downside to this lounge as well is that if you want to charge something, well, first off, you need UK plugs, which is standard here in Hong Kong, that's normal, but there's no USB and they don't have them everywhere. See, I'm sitting way back behind where I'm showing you now and the chargers are only over here. But if you do happen to have top tier One World status or you're flying first with Cathay Pacific, which could be cool, then you can go into this lounge, which is definitely going to be much better than the one over there. But I think the dining in the business lounge is very, very acceptable. It's just that the AC is not really working today, so I think I'm done there and I'm going to go head to my gate now. And my gate is in front of this pretty majestic looking sculpture they got here. But it's going to be CX725 on over to Kuala Lumpur. It looks like the aircraft, the A330, is sitting there. And it's definitely an A330. So there won't be any pleasant or unpleasant surprises, unless upon boarding they turn out to have the very old business class seats, but I think that's rather unlikely. And boarding's just started here, pretty much right on time. I think they board 30 minutes before, even for international flights over at Hong Kong Airport. Have a pleasant journey. I can't say I'm a huge fan of facial recognition boarding. I mean, I know they're storing my data everywhere already, but it's just like a step too far for me. I didn't have a choice. That's what you get if you have a ticket. Oh well. But anyway, here we are. There's a separate boarding gate for first and business. Over there's the economy boarding gate. And let's see how this flight is on Cathay Pacific's A330 in the business class, lie flat seat. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, thank you. And while on my last Cathay flight, I was in this row or area, I guess you'd call it, towards the front. There's a little more cozy area back here. And at the time of selecting my seat, it was completely empty. And then at the time that I checked again yesterday, it was still completely empty. So with any luck, I'm gonna have this whole area to myself, with my wife, of course. Let's see. But of course, the only downside to this perhaps more private area, definitely smaller area, is that the economy boarding bridge is actually feeding everybody into this area. So if you board first, you've got to watch the entire premium and regular economy class go to the back. Something to consider. And on this A330, it's just a little bit less wide. So you can see it is 2 seating in economy as well. And then I believe 4 in the middle. But there's a lot less overhead bin space. And if I'm not mistaken, if we're comparing to the A350 at least, this business class seat is a little bit less wide. I think there's just a little bit less room here. I'm very interested to see if they will hand out amenity kit, because currently there's no amenity kit within sight of my seat. But there is a pillow. Ah, sure. Yeah, I'll take the Cathay Delight, please. Thank you. Will you be handing out amenity kits on this flight?
Not this flight.
Ah, that's a shame. Okay, thank you.
Do you have any toothbrush or a pair of socks?
No, I just like the amenity kit, honestly. You don't have one on hand. Okay, thank you. But the Cathay Delight is pretty much the ultimate welcome drink. As boarding continued, I had a look at the menu and made a quick stop by the restroom. The restroom did feel kind of small for business class, but we'll take a more in-depth look at it later in the video. As I arrived back to my seat, a crew member came by with hot towels. And there was no time wasted in playing the safety video. Boarding was pretty smooth, but unfortunately right after boarding was complete, the captain was informed by air traffic control that there'd be a delay of about 45 minutes. So I'm just sitting here waiting for that, but the staff were nice enough to bring me a coffee, as well as some nice hot nuts. So I'm just kind of taking in the views, doing a little work, you know, apparently a 45-minute delay.
Just to keep you updated of our progress, we're negotiating with air traffic control and they promised we'll be beginning our journey within 15 minutes. Please do bear with us, of course we'll be underway as soon as we're able. Thank you for your patience.
So as the captain just said, we should be heading to the runway in about 15 minutes. But apparently these kind of delays have been very normal recently over at HKG, at least for Cathay flights, according to the flight attendant. But my first appearance of this aircraft is, although it's dated, it is kind of stylish still. There's some artwork in the cabin. It has a decent feel. But when it comes to the seat and everything around the seat, it's pretty dated. I mean, if you look at this plug-in, it says iPod, and it shows like a type of plug that hasn't been made in years as far as I know. And then everything is just, I mean, it's just obviously quite old. It's an old aircraft and it hasn't been re-outfitted in quite a long time. But luckily there are still lie-flat seats and it's relatively comfortable here. But I'd point out that although the cabin could definitely be defined as clean, it's pretty clean. It's just like everything is very old. They could probably use a deep cleaning. Like obviously cleaning staff were on this aircraft cleaning and there's no, I don't know, pieces of old food lying around, but everything is very dusty and kind of getting discolored and all that kind of stuff. So I guess I'm flying on almost an antique. But I mean, hey, I think it's gonna be an experience. So far it's been pretty okay and the staff are really nice on this flight. So with any luck, we'll be in the air pretty soon. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna take a bit more of a look around and see what I find. Basically, all the seats seem to offer the same experience. But in the middle, you've got these two next to each other. And seat choice is really about if you want to be sitting next to a window or maybe next to someone that you're traveling with. But even though I'm traveling with my wife, I'm a really big fan of window seats, and so is she, so we went with the window. And after quite a wait, we've just started pushing back, and I guess we'll be in there pretty soon. In the meantime, let's take a look at this entertainment screen they've got here. Basically, you've got quite a few choices if you want to watch something. But since Cathay decided to do that plane swap and put me in the A350 on the last flight, I have something more modern to compare to. And this is obviously a kind of old IFE device. It's not that sensitive to the touch, especially compared to the ones that you can find on some of their other aircraft. But it seems like the same selection. But before I close this IFE, because I got other stuff that I want to look at too, I actually opened it originally because I want to see the moving map, just to see a little bit more information about what our flight route could be, and just to see if it's the same moving map that you get on other Cathay flights. But everything with this in-flight entertainment does seem kind of slow, kind of laggy. I guess it's just old. It's like using a 95 iMac or whatever that's called, instead of, I don't know, a new MacBook Pro. But anyway, it's almost loaded. While it's loading, look at this cabin. The business class here is almost empty. And taking a look back in economy, it's not that much more full either. So just when a flight is that empty, that definitely adds to the comfort. But of course, you know, that's not in the business plan for any airline, to run around with empty airplanes and lose money on fuel and all that. And the moving map did load, but it loaded only in Chinese. So I'm gonna see if I can't figure out how to get that in a language I understand. But I know geography pretty well, so I guess I can guess. I'm assuming this means Hong Kong. And the flight time for this flight is just a little bit over 3 hours. I think the captain said 3 hours and 20 minutes, if I remember right. So I did kind of run around pretty hectically in Hong Kong, and I'm hoping I'll take a nap in this lie-flat bed. But with a little over 3 hours, we'll see if it actually happens. And the map did, at some point, decide to change to English, so yeah, that's definitely Hong Kong, and you can see we'll be flying down to Kuala Lumpur. I'll take another look at that a little bit later when we've actually flown some of the flight. But with no regards to what's actually inside of this cabin, the views out here in Hong Kong are amazing. I love the way this airport looks with all the mountains around, and there are so many interesting aircraft too. Most of what I see right here is Cathay Pacific, but you can see China Eastern, and we just pulled up to an Air China narrow-body plane right there. So this is definitely a nice airport to be departing out of, and even more so when you've got a business class ticket, obviously. And we just got over to our final departure runway really quick, actually. That didn't take long at all. The taxi was like maybe 5 minutes. You can see Hong Kong Express over there right before we leave. But that means we're about to take off. So let's check out some takeoff views from Hong Kong Airport. I don't think they'll disappoint. And we're going to take off right now. It's time to go. a pretty hazy or foggy day or something, but you can still see Macau a little bit over there. And just taking off from Hong Kong, there's like all these small mountains or hills everywhere, and it's very green. It's just a beautiful place. And we're just in the middle of our ascent now. We must be a little bit over 10,000 feet now, because I heard that ding to signify that we're over 10,000 feet, but they didn't turn off the seatbelt signs yet. They did, however, notify us that there will be Wi-Fi on the flight, so that's really nice. And I'm just going to see how that works. But I'm not sure. As of now, I'm not seeing any Wi-Fi network show up. It could be that I misheard and they said they're not going to have Wi-Fi, because I've got these earplugs in that I always wear during descent and ascent. But that seatbelt sign was pretty short-lived, so it looks like they're going to start service pretty soon. They've closed the curtains. Can't see economy class anymore. And with any luck, I'll have a nice meal and enjoy some service, and then I'll also take a little nap. I usually don't take naps on airplanes unless I'm flying in business class and I'm tired. And today I'm flying in business class and I'm tired. But it does seem like sitting back in this slightly cozier section might mean that you get service after everybody in the front. So in the meantime, let's give this bed a little test. Let me grab my pillow. This is like 3/4 recliner and it's pretty comfy. Let's give this full recliner test. Almost. And that's pretty okay. This is definitely not the BMW or the Porsche of lie flat business class seats, but I could sleep in this without any mattress too. I think it's, yeah, I don't know. It's not hard. It's relatively cushy. I think I'll be able to sleep here pretty nicely. The only way to know though is to give it a try. And down here you can get a bit of a better view of like, I don't know, the IFE stuff, how the seat works, and then there's this nice little light that I should turn off. And here you can see the iPod. That's so cute. It's like a vintage aircraft seat, I guess you could call it. But since service should probably be coming pretty soon, I'll go back up, I guess. And there's quite a bit to see out the window too, so I think I'm gonna go back up. Hopefully my meal will come pretty soon. And then we can see what it looks like out the window. And we're now cruising at, well, I don't know how many feet, maybe 30,000 or so. Seems like we're almost to our final cruising altitude, but wow. And one thing I'd have to point out, since I'm reviewing an A330 right here, is that being an older aircraft, the air can kind of feel really dry, and the air pressure can be, I don't know, just like more significant, especially if you have kind of ear issues like I often do when flying. So I've got these earplugs in. I think that's probably the best bet for most people that have chronic airplane ear. But if you're really, really sensitive, you might want to look into some newer wide-body aircraft to fly on. And one thing I've noticed flying around here in Asia a lot in the past few weeks is that they've gotten really, really serious about turbulence since the Singapore Airlines incident. So yeah, they just made an announcement. There was just a little bump. I don't know. We'll see how much turbulence there actually will be, but it seems like they take it pretty serious. Now the menu on this flight is pretty decent for a 3-hour flight in business, I suppose. You've got 3 choices for the mains. Let's see, there's steamed cod, roasted chicken, or Malaysian beef rendang, which is what I got. Now, I would advise people that don't often eat spicy food not to eat spicy food on an airplane, or before a flight. I eat a lot of spicy food, and I'm really interested to try that because I've actually never tried rendang. So it's either going to be great or it's going to end terribly, but we'll see. And then there's a nice selection as far as the beverages go. Not really feeling any alcohol today, though if I were, I'd have plenty of options. Ah, nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. And here's the appetizer. Pretty nice looking. I think this is Balinese chicken. According to the menu, that's what it is. And then I've got the Cathay Delight here again, which I also had as the boarding drink. It's a really good drink. You should try it. And then a little salad. That's nice. And it comes with some extra virgin olive oil and balsamic. Very nice. And it's been maybe a little bit over 10 minutes since the seatbelt sign was turned back on, but it's still on and there's a little bit of light turbulence. They still were able to serve the meal, but the seatbelt sign seems like it's going to stay on for a little while longer. But in the meantime, I'm going to give this salad a try. And the cutlery here is very nice, Cathay branded, as you usually find in an airline's premium class. That is a nice little salad. So I've never tried any Balinese food, as far as I know. But I'm actually going to be going to Bali in 2 days, so this should be a good little chance for a preview for me. Looks like it might potentially be spicy. It's not really spicy. And here it is, beef rendang, my first time trying it. So let's see, it's marked on the menu as spicy. Let's see if it's really spicy. I think I'll start with the rice in the middle. It's pretty much just rice. And then this is cool. Spinach and coconut milk. Oh, it's hot. Piping hot. It's not bad. I've actually never had spinach together with coconut milk. So that's kind of an interesting combination. And then this is the only part left that could be spicy. So let's see. Chunks of beef with a lot of different spices, including some salt, a little bit salty. Pretty tasty though. But I've asked the flight attendant if they have any hot sauce, and she says they do, so she'll bring it back in just a second because... okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Souvenir. Thanks. And being a Hong Kong-based airline, they have Hong Kong Guilin style chili sauce. Whoa. Man, that is a smoky smelling hot sauce. Let's see if it tastes okay. I wish I'd had a little more time in Hong Kong to try more of the food. I had some great dim sum last night, but still. I mean, I didn't get to try this hot sauce, for example, so I guess I missed a lot of stuff there. That's like smoky and salty. It's not really spicy. I don't really like that hot sauce that much. It just doesn't taste that great. I mean, it tastes kind of like a less flavorful version of Mexican mole with too much salt in it. So basically, to sum up, dining on Cathay Pacific in business class on shorter flights at least, you're gonna eat better food in the lounge, but they've got pretty decent food that you can eat on board. It's nothing to write home about, but for on an airplane, it's pretty solid. But I'd nearly forgotten that there's a dessert cart on this flight, and they're just about to come by.
We have a selection of cheese and fruit.
Oh yeah, some fruits please, and some cheese, and some ice cream.
Vanilla, strawberry, or cookies and cream.
Oh, cookies and cream, that sounds awesome. Yes, thank you so much. I'm like excited, this looks nice. Last Cathay flight, we only got this little mango dessert, but it was a shorter flight.
Oh yeah, short flight we don't have the cheese and fruit trolley. Any other drinks for you?
A coffee please, yeah.
I'll serve it to you after the seatbelt sign turn off.
Okay, no worries, yeah. Alright, do you have espresso-based drinks or is it only coffee?
We do have cappuccino, espresso,
Perfect.
or latte.
Oh, cappuccino please.
Cappuccino.
Thank you. That'll be it.
Enjoy. Thank you.
And I think it's the third time that the seatbelt sign's been turned off and then on again, because there's just a lot of bumps over the South China Sea. I guess we're kind of somewhere halfway between, well, I guess now it's like Vietnam and the Philippines. A little bit closer to Vietnam looking at the map. But anyway, they've got Haagen-Dazs ice cream and they have cookies and cream, which is one of my favorite flavors. And then there's some cheese here. I do see there's blue cheese, so I'll probably skip that one. There's basically the camp of people that like blue cheese and people that hate blue cheese. And you should be one of the people that hate blue cheese like me. Just kidding. And then there's also some nice tropical fruit selection, including dragon fruit and yellow kiwi. Nice touches. So, yellow kiwi. And I saw so many ads for yellow kiwi in Hong Kong. I don't know if that's just a thing in Hong Kong or... All of Asia. Cantaloupe. This is good. The watermelon, however, tastes like water without the melon part. And this is one of the kings of fruits, let's say. Dragon fruit. And the rest of the dessert cart is also pretty good. We're almost halfway through our flight, and now we're about to be flying over Vietnam. And I think I'm gonna start trying to kind of just relax, chill out, maybe even sleep a tiny bit if it's possible. There's not that much time left here though. So I'm just trying out their in-flight entertainment, and it seems pretty solid other than the screen not being all that sensitive to touch. These sound isolation headphones are pretty standard in any business class, but the ones that Cathay has definitely do the job. Thank you so much. And in true spirit of taking a very short nap, I got a coffee. So I might end up taking a coffee nap, like a 15-minute express nap, and then wake up before descent. Because I always have to be awake before the plane starts to descend, or I get problems with my ears. And the seatbelt sign has been on for much more than half of this flight in the end. But I do have to say the service has been very nice. The business class cabin is probably not even half full, and where I'm sitting there's only 2 other people in the whole entire section. But still, since I had passed by this bathroom before takeoff, some sticky stuff has appeared on the floor, so I actually think I'll go to find another bathroom because, yeah, that's a bit nasty, I don't know. Probably a bit hard for the staff to clean that up though as well during the middle of the flight. But the whole enforcement of the seatbelt sign is a bit strange, I have to say. I decided to walk up to the front because there are 2 or 3 more bathrooms up there. And I saw someone else enter the bathroom, but then I tried to enter the bathroom that was still free, and the crew kind of told me, the seatbelt sign's on, you need to go back and sit all the way back down here. So I think they were probably right to say that. I probably should be sitting with my seatbelt on when the seatbelt sign's on, but doesn't that go for everybody else flying on the plane too? And with all that complaininess, there's some medium turbulence that seems to be coming up, so I'm hoping that this isn't going to last long. Because on these A330s, they're kind of sensitive to turbulence, to be honest. It is a wide-body aircraft, but I just feel it a bit more than I would on like an A350 or 777. And they did just make an official announcement that the seatbelt sign is in fact on and everyone needs to stay at their seats and not use the washrooms. So I think actually they might just not have noticed that person going into the bathroom, and I did notice them, that's possible. And since I'll be sitting here in this seat until the seatbelt sign is off or until we land, whichever one comes first, let's go over how much I paid for this flight. So basically, I paid 22,500 American Airlines miles plus some taxes and fees of around $75. But there's a little bit more to it. Those 22,500 American Airlines miles didn't just pay for this flight, they also paid for a flight that I took yesterday from Taipei over to Hong Kong, of course this flight from Hong Kong to Kuala Lumpur, and then a Malaysia Airlines flight that I'm going to take tomorrow from Malaysia over to Bali. So I was basically able to book 3 flights on 3 different days and get 3 almost 24-hour long layovers. And all 3 of those flights are in business class. And the funny thing is, if you were to book them all in economy class, they'd cost you 17,500 American Airlines miles plus taxes and fees, so only 5,000 miles less than business class. That's a really nice sweet spot in the American Airlines award chart. Plus I'm able to spend the night and experience 2 cities that I'd never visited before and try 2 business classes that I'd never flown in before either. Not bad. And since there was all that sticky stuff on the ground in the other bathroom, I just popped over here to this one at the very front of the plane. It's a bit cleaner, I have to say, but it's pretty much the same thing, maybe slightly more spacious. And these amenities that they have in the business class bathrooms really do make a difference, but there is one thing I have to warn you about. This body lotion, if you ever put this on an airplane, and you happen to have your wedding ring or any other ring on your finger, be very careful that it doesn't slip off, because that happened to me once and I lost my ring. And while I was in the restroom, the seatbelt sign was turned back on for, I think it's the 6th time on this plane. So, back to my seat. Back to my movie.
Crew, 30 minutes delayed.
Basically for me, for these shorter journeys to and from Hong Kong, this is a pretty decent way to travel. And I think the thing that shines the brightest for Cathay is their service. Everybody working for the airline is very professional and generally offers good service. But when it comes to their hard product, I feel like it might be kind of hard to know what to expect when you're actually booking a business class flight with Cathay. For a little over a 1-hour flight on an A350, I think it's probably okay not to offer that many choices for meals or even an amenity kit. But then on this 3.5-hour flight over to Kuala Lumpur, I think that's a different story. The fact that they don't offer amenity kits on this flight is a little bit unacceptable in my opinion. And I really don't hate the cabin design at all. But this A330 business class cabin, well, it's just kind of old and I don't know. They either need to replace it or like really give it a deep cleaning. I mean, Cathay Pacific is one of the biggest operators of the A330 in the entire world. And if I got stuck on this plane for like 9 or 10 hours, I don't think I'd be so happy about it. But really the thing is that you don't necessarily know what to expect with Cathay. And even when you book something in particular, they seem to have a lot of aircraft changes at last minute. So again, for me, for kind of short hops around Asia, this is a cool way to fly. I'd never been in their business class before, so now I get to see it and check it out and even show it to you. But for a longer flight, and if I were actually considering paying maybe thousands of dollars for one of their flights, this would be a pretty hard no, especially if someone like Qatar Airways or Emirates was operating the route too. But hey, that's just me, and that's just based on this experience flying one A350 flight and one A330 flight. Nothing like arriving to a place you've never been before. Ah yes, and I almost forgot. When choosing between this larger cabin and the smaller one back there, for me the smaller one is like way more cozy. I definitely recommend giving that one a try. But of course you can try them both yourself if you want. But thank you so much for watching, and I really hope this video was useful for you. If it was, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, all that good YouTube stuff. But I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!